Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting opening trap against Caro defense where white delivered a wonderful checkmate in just 15 moves, and this is a very famous game of 1935 and I'm sure you're really gonna enjoy it. So white started the game with this e4, black responded with d5 Scandinavian defense, but this is a trap of Caro defense, so why is it so? But we just capture here, black responded with c6 and d4 pawn captures, and we reach the same position that we reach exchange variation of the Caro. Let me just show you. We go for e4, c6, d4, d5, and once you take here, this is the exchange variation of the Caro defense. So after this we have the bishop to d3, knight f6, c3, we see some developing move, knight bd7, knight f3, e6, castle, bishop e7, queen e2, and queen e2 is sometimes working a lot where you have to go for some checkmating ideas and you want to attack the rook if the file this diagonal opens up, but this is not working right now, but we will see what happens. So black also castle, bishop to f4, knight would be coming on d2, so nothing out of ordinary, a6, knight bd2, and pawn push would be coming. So okay, so we have b5 first, and now this knight is jumping on e5 square. So this is always a move you wanna play, and the knight would be shifted to f3 square, so you control the center a lot. We have a rook move, but this is an inaccuracy and black should have just captured this knight and this, but the problem is that after the pawn capture, knight would be under attack, you need to play knight back. So this was really difficult to play in this line when the pawn reaches to this e5 square, very strong position for white. That is why black responded with this rook move, but this is an inaccuracy and white can take the advantage of it by playing the knight move. And why this is good? Because you have to save the queen. Let's say you play queen to b6, we just capture the bishop, eliminate the bishop pair, and now you play a very surprising stuff with this a4. And a4 you just want to capture this, and pawn would not be capturing because a rook would be hanging. So you have two options, either you want to push the pawn or you just want to capture. Let's discuss what happens after pushing the pawn. Then we have this a5 attacks the queen. There are so many moves you can play with the queen, not so many, means only two moves you can play with the queen. We have queen b7 or queen to e7. Let's discuss queen e7, then we just take the free pawn, and that's winning. So that is why you want to keep an eye on the pawn, but this would not help because you see the position of the rook and your bishop is very active. We just attack the rook and we will just capture with the pawn, and this would be good. So this is the way to play if we really want to play precisely. But after this a4 you could also argue what happens after this pawn takes, but a rook takes, and now it looks like there is a free pawn, and if black accept this, then this is a trap and you can win the game on the spot. First, chess.com engine was just suggesting that you capture the pawn, but after like 15 seconds chess.com engine is saying no, this was a wrong move, and now you play a very wonderful move with the rook to b1. So engines are sometimes very awkward, so queen takes has to be played, and now you play a very wonderful move with this queen to f3. Now the idea is to just take the free pawn and then capture the free queen. So you need to do something. You can move the king or you can play the pawn push, both leads to the same position. Let's say you play the pawn push, and now you have to spot a rook to b3 attacking the queen. So you want to play something, you want to deliver one check. Let's say you deliver a check, knight to f1, and now the bishop would be attacking the queen, so you want to go back. And now you can pause the video to try and find the best move for white here. I know most of you found this very brilliant move with this rook to c4, and that's it, we win the game. The problem is that queen is now trapped. You have to take with this, and queen would just be capturing the free queen, and this queen is not going anywhere. We are also attacking the rook in the next move, so even if you capture another piece, we would capture the rook and we are completely winning. So that was a very wonderful trap. After this, queen really captures that. But this was not played in the game. Knight is not going to c6 square, and we see knight to f3, and this is also a very wonderful move. You would see why. So without realizing any threat, black just played the bishop to b7. Again, the best move was to just take the knight, but bishop b7 loses the game on the spot, and you can pause the video to try, and I'm sure you got this. So knight takes f7, we just attack the queen, and the best way to deal with this position is to play queen to the b6. Don't just capture this knight, and we just bring the knight back, and this would be always a weak pawn. You keep on piling here, and this black would eventually lose the e6 pawn, and this would be game over for black. So but in the game, black just accept the sacrifice. But now you have to spot the very brilliant move. Yeah, there are two moves winning. You could also play this knight to this g5 square, which delivers a check. It is also winning. But the very spectacular queen takes the free pawn, and we reach the position from the thumbnail. This move is really surprising, because now you have to decide, do you really want to, you cannot go out because bishop is already controlling this. You need to go back with the king, or you want to capture. If you capture, this was played in the game, and you deliver this very brutal checkmate in the center of the board, because you see this bishop is covering this, and knight just pressurizes both the squares. So that was a very brilliant checkmate, and this is move 15. But what happens if you just go back with the queen? It doesn't really matter. You have the knight move. Now we want to deliver checkmate in one. So you want to stop it for one move, but this would not happen. Bishop move is coming, and we win the game completely after this queen delivers the checkmate. Let's say you play any move. This is just a checkmate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon covering most wonderful games of all time. So see you soon.